If even half of these reports are true, then Jenny and Sumit may be facing the most difficult chapter of their relationship yet. And honestly, that is exactly why this story is hitting people so hard online. Because this is not just another 90-day fiancé update about drama, family tension, or social media controversy. This is a story about fear, health, uncertainty, and the kind of love that gets tested when life stops being messy and starts becoming genuinely scary. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Breakdown Epic. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. Now, before we get into this, I do want to be clear that a lot of the conversation around Jenny and Sumit right now seems to be based on online reports and circulating claims, rather than fully confirmed public detail. So I am treating this as an analysis of what is being said and why it matters emotionally, not as a verified medical timeline. And honestly, that distinction matters, because when stories like this spread, what people really connect to is not just the headline, it is what the headline represents. Jenny and Sumit have always been one of the most talked about couples in the franchise, and not just because of the age gap or the cultural clash or the years of family resistance. People remember them because they survived things that should have broken them. They kept choosing each other when it would have been easier to walk away. So when a story appears saying Jenny may have gone through a serious health scare and Sumit was right there beside her through all of it, fans immediately lock in emotionally.
Why? Because that is the version of this couple people want to believe in. Not just controversial, not just unusual, loyal. Now, if the reports are accurate and Jenny really did go through multiple serious medical scares or was rushed into testing after severe symptoms, then that is a completely different kind of challenge for this relationship. Reality TV couples are often tested through jealousy, money, family, or long-distance pressure. Health is different. Health strips everything down. Suddenly, it is not about who is right in an argument or whether someone's parents approve. It is about fear in a hospital room, waiting for test results, hearing words from doctors that you cannot control, and realizing that all the little issues you used to obsess over suddenly feel tiny compared to one person just wanting the other to be okay. And if Sumit really stayed by her side through that kind of uncertainty, then that says a lot about who he is when things stop being performative and become real. In my opinion, that is the strongest reason people still root for them, because regardless of what anyone thinks about how their relationship started, the lies, the delays, the family chaos, there has always been one thing that gives them staying power in the audience's mind. When it matters most, they still seem to choose each other. Now, the financial angle in these reports is also a huge reason this story is spreading. Claims that emergency treatment created enormous pressure and that Sumit had to make serious sacrifices to secure care instantly turn this from private pain into a larger emotional narrative, because now it is not just she got sick.
It becomes he was willing to give up everything to help her. And whether that is fully accurate in every detail or not, that is the story people emotionally hear. Sacrifice, loyalty, devotion under pressure. That is why these updates travel so fast. They hit on something much bigger than celebrity curiosity. They hit on what people hope real love looks like when everything around it gets ugly. But I also think it is important not to over-romanticize pain, because one of the dangers with stories like this is that people start turning trauma into proof of love, and that can get messy fast. A couple surviving a health scare does not automatically mean the relationship is perfect. It means they were forced into one of life's hardest tests and had to respond in real time. Sometimes that brings people closer. Sometimes it exposes cracks. Sometimes it does both at once. So for me, the real emotional question is not, does this prove Sumit loves Jenny? It is, what happens to a relationship like theirs after the fear settles down? Because surviving the emergency is one thing, living with the emotional aftermath is another. Anxiety, financial strain, caregiver exhaustion, fear of recurrence, the silent pressure of trying to act normal after something life-shaking happened. That is the part most stories never sit with long enough. And if you think about Jenny and Sumit specifically, it would make sense for this kind of event to hit them especially hard. Their entire relationship has already been built under pressure.
They fought for years just to be together.
They dealt with public judgment, family rejection, repeated uncertainty. So if a real medical crisis entered that equation, it would not just be another obstacle. It would hit every existing vulnerability they already carry. That is why, in my opinion, the emotional power of this story comes less from the actual rumor details and more from how believable the emotional stakes feel for this couple. Jenny represents vulnerability in a very different way from most reality TV personalities. She is older, she has already uprooted her life, and she has built her whole future around this relationship. Sumit represents someone who has spent years trying to prove that his love is not just rebellion or fantasy. So a health scare between them instantly raises the emotional temperature because it forces both of those identities into crisis at the same time. Now, if some of these online stories turn out to be exaggerated or partially wrong, I do think there is still something useful in looking at why people responded so strongly, because the reaction itself tells you that this couple still carries emotional weight with the audience. Fans are not just watching out of habit, they are still invested in the idea that these two, after everything, can survive another storm. That matters. And honestly, that may be the most revealing part of the whole situation. Not just what happened, but what people want to believe happened. They want to believe Sumit stood by her. They want to believe Jenny fought through it. They want to believe this relationship can handle one more impossible thing. And maybe that is because so much of their story has always been about choosing hope, even when the situation looked ridiculous from the outside. So overall, whether every online detail is eventually confirmed or not, I think the reason this story is resonating is simple. It takes a couple the audience already sees as survivors and places them inside a situation where survival suddenly means more than romance. It means health, uncertainty, sacrifice, and the terrifying possibility of losing someone when there is nothing left to do but wait. And if that is what they are really going through, then yes, this would absolutely be one of the most important chapters of their entire relationship. But anyway, that is my breakdown of the Jenny and Sumit health scare reports and why this story is connecting with so many people right now. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments. Do you think this kind of crisis makes a relationship stronger, or does it reveal problems that love alone cannot fix? I will catch you in the next one.